We all know what something costs, but do we know the true value? I wouldn't take anything for my cast iron cookware that I use. I simply love it, and I can pass it on to my children. Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome to the farm kitchen here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Today we're gonna have a little bit of fun in the kitchen, and we're gonna be working with cast iron. So if this kind of stuff bores you, you just ain't country, I'll tell you that. So what we have here, I do all of my cooking on cast iron. This is a beautiful cast iron skillet. I don't even know how old this thing is, but it's old, okay? I found this in a barn laying in the mud, buried up in the mud, and I've been cooking with it for the last 4 years. Today, I'm gonna slip on my glove here, and we're gonna show you some before and after. Here is what our goal is. This is a before. Look at this crusty thing right here. So we have that large pot, which we're gonna be using in a future video to make lard, and we'll show you guys how we take leaf fat from a hog and we make lard to cook with. We're gonna season that pot, and we're gonna season 3 more small pans that are used for like making cornbread or scrambled eggs or something like that. So come along today as we show you how to take a cast iron skillet like this crusty, rusty, nasty old thing and turn it into something beautiful and wonderful that you can cook with. And this is a Lodge brand, and this is just an old cast iron skillet. So come along, let's have some fun. We'll learn a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about the benefits of cooking with cast iron. All right? Stoney Ridge Farm, Stoney Ridge, Stoney Ridge Farm. All right guys, this is a real kitchen. This is real life. Welcome to the Stoney Ridge Farm. If this is your first time to the channel, please jump in, subscribe. I'd love to have you back here. We have a first generation farm that we're building here, along with cooking, along with working on machinery, along with everything. It's just a dream that I'm enjoying sharing with you guys here on YouTube. So what we're gonna do is take an old crusty pot right here, and this pot is going to be used for making lard. So I have some leaf fat, and if you watch the lard video, the next video in the series here, you'll know what leaf fat is, but I have some leaf fat in the refrigerator right here, and I wanted to do it kind of the old-timey way. So in other words, I wanted to do it in cast iron. I've got big pots that I can cook in, but I really don't want to do it that way. I want to do it the old-fashioned way, so we're going to use cast iron. This pan, again, is a cast iron skillet that I found in a barn full of screws and nails and rusted all to pieces. It's a great skillet, guys. I got it for free. What we're doing, we live in such a throwaway society right now that, you know, you go out and you buy one of these non-stick pans and it has that coating on the surface and the non-stick wears off and you end up eating it eventually. So do you want to eat the Teflon? I don't want to eat Teflon. I would rather put iron in my bloodstream and consume a little bit of iron. Iron is good for you. Now you want to consult your doctor if you're on any type of blood thinner or something like that. If you have health problems, you need to consult them and make sure that cooking on cast iron won't hurt you, okay? So we're going to take rags to riches. Guys, this, I've got several pairs of these gloves right here. This is my kitchen glove, dude, and it's awesome. I'm going to reach over here and I'm going to grab some of the cast iron that we're going to be working with today. There are 3 pans and there's this big pot. This big pot right here, kind of a crock pot looking deal, probably had a lid with it at one point, but it doesn't have a lid with it anymore. And this is what we're going to be using to cook our lard. You see that? It's kind of gross. It's got nastiness all over it. It's pitted, it's rusty, it's crusty. Look down in there. There's all kinds of nastiness down in there. What we're going to do is cure it out, and we're going to cure it out. There's 2 ways that I like to cure a pot out or a pan out. Either put it in the wood stove and get it hot, but you run a risk of busting the pan because it gets hot too fast. So either do it that way, put it out in the campfire or whatever and cook it all off and then re-season it, or you can do what we're going to do. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it in our oven on the cleaning cycle. Now we get over 1,000, no, not 1,000, over 800 degrees here in the oven, and what that's going to do is take, this is the crustiest one. It's probably the best one too, but it's gonna take all that nasty crust and crud off of there, okay? This is like flaky. I've already pre-warmed these pans, so what you wanna do, I preheated my oven to about 170 degrees, and these pans have been sitting in there. That's why I have to hold them with the glove right here. But we've got 3 of these pans. This one looks like grandma's old cornbread pan, and it's been used a lot. This one, and all these are, it looks like they're American made. There are a few maker's marks on here. I think there's a 5 back there on the back, and you can see a little more. This is probably the one that's in the best condition. It's got the most rust on it. And this one is just plumb nasty. And it's probably a well-seasoned pan already. You can't even see the maker's mark on the bottom. So we're gonna give you guys the before and after on all 3 of these little pans. The thing about cast iron cookware is you can go out and you can buy, this is a Lodge brand, Lodge, right there. You can go buy new cast iron cookware, but it takes quite some time to get the surface inside the pan slick, okay? So when you buy a brand new cast iron piece of cookware, the bottom is rough and it takes years to season that pan, okay? What we're gonna do is buy old stuff for way, way cheaper. So I paid basically 40 bucks for this pot and all 3 of those little skillets. And those little skillets are perfect for cooking a pone of cornbread. I'm gonna keep one for myself. I'm giving one to my mom and one to my sister. So let's get busy. We'll show you exactly what we're gonna do to bake off all the old crust. And then we're gonna season them. So you've gone to the flea market or you've gone to the antique shop and you've picked yourself up 3 cast iron skillets. You can get all sorts of different sizes. You can probably pick them up for 5 to 10 bucks versus 20 to 30 bucks in the store for a brand new one. These are better in my opinion, although there aren't a lot of businesses still making cast iron cookware. So what we're gonna do, we do not want to do this. This is a big no-no. We don't want to stack all 3 of them on top of each other and stick them in there. We wanna separate them evenly inside the oven. I've got the oven right now preheated to 550. I'm gonna slide these guys back in the back. Another piece of advice, if you got small pans, put those in the back. Put your bigger one up front because you don't wanna be wrestling with that big boy all the way back there in the back, okay? You run a risk of touching the eye and burning yourself. And here's Big Stinky. Big Stinky has a maker's mark on there. It says 78. I don't know if that's 78 pints or what. We're gonna set Big Stinky in here. And what we're gonna do, I hope we're gonna set him in there. There we go, yeah. Okay, it doesn't matter if it sets even or level or whatever. Just matters that your oven door will close. So we're closed up. We're preheating to 550. So you're gonna see some of the other cast iron cookware that I have. This is a Lodge brand. I think you call that a Dutch oven right there. Love cooking with that. You're gonna cook you a pot of beans or cook you a chicken. Just take a whole chicken and put it in there with some potatoes and some carrots and some onions. Oh man, it makes that tummy growl. If you guys haven't had lunch yet, I bet your tummy's growling. So what we're gonna do, if you don't have a self-cleaning oven, it takes longer. So you can set your oven to the highest temperature and leave it in there for about 6 hours. We have a self-cleaning oven here, so we're gonna set the self-clean on here. We're actually gonna turn the fan on above the microwave here so that we're drawing some of that smell out because this is going to smell funky, okay? The house is gonna smell like you're cleaning the oven. So you're gonna wanna do this on a day that it's nice, maybe a 70-degree day where it's a little breezy, so you're getting a breeze through the house because you don't want that smoke to radiate inside your house. We're gonna leave these guys in here for the full clean cycle. If you don't have a self-cleaning oven, put it at the highest temperature it can possibly go and leave it in there for 4 to 6 hours, okay? We'll see you guys in just a few minutes. We're gonna show you what type of oil we use to season our pans. And it takes years often to season a pan good, but getting a good start is very, very important. So let me set the oven. When you set your oven for self-clean, if you got an older oven, you probably have a lock on the front of it. This one just said locked. So this thing is locked and it takes 3 hours to run through the self-cleaning cycle. I'm gonna open a couple doors in the house, let the house breathe. Let's talk about, if you guys don't know, if you don't follow the farm channel, so I'm full-time here on the farm now, but I am a registered nurse. So I've got some friends that are pharmacists, and I was talking to a pharmacy buddy of mine, and we were talking about the benefits, the health benefits of cooking with cast iron. And he said, you know what I learned in pharmacy school? There was never a documented case of iron deficiency anemia prior to the 1920s, when commercial cookware started coming out with the non-stick and aluminum and stainless steel type pans. So cast iron can be very good for you, very good to cook with. There aren't a whole lot of companies. Again, Lodge makes a great cast iron cookware pan, but you can go to like little antique stores, little mom and pop shops, flea markets, whatever, and you can pick these things up for a song, save yourself some money, and have something that has true value to it. We all know what something costs, but do we know the true value? I wouldn't take anything for my cast iron cookware that I use. I simply love it, and I can pass it on to my children. My great-grandmother passed on her cornbread cooking pan to my mother, and it's a cherished item. These are cherished items. We don't have that anymore, guys, and our country is slipping away. Our world is slipping away. We're just a throwaway society, and these are not throwaway items. Let's give them 3 hours. We'll see you guys once all the crust is baked off. All right? The long-awaited reveal. So behind the scenes, it's been about 5 hours here, okay? We're into the next day, and here is the result of all of that baking. You see how it turned everything white? Down inside there's a bunch of crusty stuff, so we'll take this guy outside. You don't want to do this inside. We'll take it outside and put a wire brush to it. Now you're going to see some cool differences in the different grades, or the different grade of cleanliness these pans were, these small pans. So this guy was virtually brand new, and you can see it still looks virtually brand new. That's the one that we're going to be curing out today, and then we'll talk about the rest of it. This, I'm saving the crustiest one for last. So inside here is all of the stuff that baked out of there, okay? So we'll dump it out into here real quick. That's the bottom of that pan. That pan that we couldn't see any numbers on or anything. It's clean as a whistle. I'm going to put it down in the other cast iron skillet, and the nasty, nasty one is right here. So this is just a cleaning cycle. Look at that. You can see right there, the 5 is on there. Everything's on there, okay? It did a little bit of damage to the rack here. So I got to take the rack out and bend it back into position. But let's talk about where we go from here. So where we take the crustiness, and you can see, I would just call it ashy. It's just covered in ash. We're going to take them out. We'll clean them with a wire brush, okay, guys? You can do it with a wire brush, or you can do it with a brush on the end of a drill, which makes it a lot faster. What we're going to do, well, you can also just use a kitchen scouring sponge too, and you can do it right in your kitchen sink. It will not hurt these to get wet. However, I do suggest before you get them wet that you get some oil on them. Now, let's take the cleanest one, and we'll show you guys how it looks when it's done. We're going to finish it out, and it's going to look very similar to that. So we're going to go from this to this. And it's very, very simple, guys. Again, it's about saving money. It's about passing on something from generation to generation. These things can be passed on from generation. They're not a throwaway item, and we live in such a throwaway world. So let's show you what we do, and we'll talk about the different kinds of oils that you can use to cure out and season your cast iron skillet or pan or pot. So let's take our baked off skillets and pots, and what we're going to do, this pot is going to be seasoned by lard. Inside my refrigerator, I've got a box of leaf fat for making lard. So tune into the next video in the series, or you can look, there's a cooking, canning, and kitchen video series I'll post to the end of this video so you guys can follow along as we show you how to make lard from fat. And it's cheap, and it's easy, and it's healthy. It's good for you, okay? It's all about eating good and treating your body well. So I'm going to set the crustiest ones over here, and I'm going to grab the one that came out the best. This thing's virtually brand new, guys. Virtually brand new. If you're a cast iron skillet person, let me know. There's a maker's mark on here that says 5, and another maker's mark. I really can't tell what it says. This one's virtually brand new, okay? So it's probably been used like 4 times, something like that. And then somebody cast it aside. Take those things that people cast aside and make them into treasures for you and your family for a long time. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to take the pan, I'm going to put the camera down here on the pan, I'm going to show you the oil that we use and how we do this. There are 3 options right here. Coconut oil, okay? The option that I like the best, walnut oil. I'm going to post links to this stuff down the video description for you guys. You're going to need a roll of paper towels. Also, another option would be to use bacon fat or lard to do this, to cure this thing out, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to use my walnut oil. The walnut oil leaves an awesome residue, and it's not very expensive. One of these cans will last you nearly a year for taking care of your cast iron cookware. Right, so we're going to take some paper towels. I'm going to roll off about 3 paper towels here. And first thing we're going to do is wipe it out, just to show you guys, okay? They start rusting immediately. So after I wipe it out, you're going to see some rust. It's normal. It's okay. It's cool. It's not going to hurt you. So see that rust? See what I got off with the rag? Okay, we're going to take our paper towel and we're going to fold it back on itself. We're, again, saving, being frugal, being smart. We're going to fold it back on itself. We're going to pour probably a quarter-sized dollop of walnut oil over here in the pan, okay? Maybe a little bigger. Yeah, that's a little bigger. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can't put too much on here. This is the cure, baby. This is what it's all about right here. Okay, I get excited when I do this kind of stuff, and you're going to see some nastiness come off. You want to also not only, look at that, look how beautiful. You not only want to wipe in the inside, you want to wipe the rim, the edge of the rim, and look at this, oiled versus this, not oiled. So you want to oil all of it. Look at that. Like brand spanking new, guys. This thing probably cost me $4 at the secondhand store. And you can find these old cast iron skillets all over the place. Secondhand stores, you can find them at flea markets. I imagine right now one of your neighbors or one of your friends has an old cast iron skillet sitting out in the shed. Nobody can throw them away. It's just your conscience. You can't keep a clear conscience and put that in the trash can. There's just no way you can do it. So look, okay, we got some crusty, nasty stuff on here, all right? That's the first one, the first treatment, okay? That's all good. That's what we're looking for. You want to get the handle, you want to get everything. If you don't like grease on your hands or oil on your hands, then wear gloves, okay? So we're going to go ahead and discard this wad, and we're going to start with some new paper towels. Once again, I'm going to put about a quarter-size dollop in there. We'll put a smaller dollop for the second time here. Going to use probably 3 of these little paper towels. And we're greasing this thing up now. Now we're hooking it up. So we want it to be heavily greased, all right? Okay. You want to almost have a, you want to have it just about to where it'll try to run out of the pan. You can see that right there. It's trying to run just a little bit. That's cool. That's what you want, man. You want to get that dude greased up. When you take care of these, I'm going to show you what to do to take care of them also, okay, for longevity. And you'll be cooking scrambled eggs in that thing right there, and you'd think it would never cook scrambled eggs without sticking, but it sure will. So for longevity purposes, we have, and I'll post links again, this is the Lodge brand cleaner, okay? I got the coffee shakes. So that's a Lodge brand cleaner. This is a brand new one. They wear out. This is the one that I use. So when you buy them, and you're going to do this, you're going to commit to cast iron, go ahead and buy a couple, 2 or 3 of these, okay? I'll post links again. I keep them in an old coffee cup right beside the kitchen sink, and this is a used one. That's what it looks like after several months of use, but it's still really, really good. We are going to show you with the new one exactly what we do to clean it. So once you get done cooking, whatever it is you cook, you run a little bit of water in here, okay? Carefully run some water in there, don't burn yourself. Don't let the pan be too hot, and then you take this brush and you just simply get in the edges, brush it off, wipe all the way around the rim right there, and wipe it out again with a paper towel, and then do the oil treatment one more time. So drop a little bit, probably once you get it good and seasoned, you only need about a dime-sized dollop of oil, and then you'll rub that oil in just like so. And set it back over on the stove. Let it stay warm and it'll absorb that oil. Now to finish out our cure, let's talk about that. So finishing out our cure, we're not done. We're not totally done here. This takes work. Again, it's a commitment on your part. we're gonna take all of our pans that we've greased up and made look wonderful, nice and wonderful. We actually could just take this one and wipe it out. Also, you know what? I'm gonna do it real quick and I'm gonna show you. This is the before, the crusty, nasty before, and inside here is just a puddle of nastiness. That's the back. This is the before, and that is the after. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that wonderful? So we're gonna take these guys right here, and I have my oven preheating again to 285. We're gonna take all of these skillets and we're gonna put them all, look at that, man. From, gosh, it's just so impressive. From that to this. Unbelievable, guys. It's just absolutely unbelievable. We're gonna take this and we're gonna put it in the oven. And I'm not here to sell you anything. This is all about education. We're gonna take that, we're gonna put it in the oven for about an hour and a half, even 2 hours at the temperature of about 285, and that will season this pan. Once we take it back out, we'll oil it up again, and we will store these pans inside our oven. That's where I store my pans. So whenever I cook something or bake something in the oven, I take my pans out, and then when I take whatever it is I cooked out, I set my pans back in the oven, and that helps again to season them very, very well. So it only takes probably a couple of weeks maybe to get your pans totally seasoned. Start cooking with them, start using them, and I promise you in about 2 or 3 weeks, you'll take a crusty, worthless old pan like this and make it into your go-to pan to cook scrambled eggs for the family in the morning, or cornbread, or whatever it is you want to cook. Guys, I hope to see you on the next video here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Thank you so much. Again, cleaning the pans, you know everything you need to know right now to cook and or be successful with cast iron cookware, guys. So thanks a lot for joining me here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. I really appreciate you. We'll see you next time. We'll see you in the lard making video. Subscribe to the channel. There's all kinds of stuff, not just in the kitchen, but winter months will put us in the kitchen and we'll do a whole lot of education right here in the Stoney Ridge Farmer kitchen. Thanks a lot. See you next time. All right?
Well, come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Woo!
Isn't that beautiful?